Senator Cotton. Thank you so much, Senator Cotton.
Ms. Khan, I want to return to a topic addressed by Senator Cruz and Senator Booker, and it's about the low morale at the FTC under your tenure. Senator Cruz cited a letter of former employees, but we do have data on this from survey from current employees. In response to Senator Booker, you implied that your employees may be concerned about what you called the future of work. That's not what this survey says. And again, this is from the Office of Personnel Management, President Biden's Office of Personnel Management. On one question, asked whether they have a high degree of confidence in my organization's senior leaders to maintain high standards of honesty and integrity, it went from 87% in 2020 to 53% in 2021. On another, in my organization, senior leaders generate high levels of motivation and commitment in the workforce. Again, it went from 80% in 2020 to 42% in 2021. On a third measure, I have a high level of respect for my organization's senior leaders, and it went from 83% in 2020 to 49% in 2021. Ms. Khan, why do your employees have so little faith and confidence in your leadership?
Thanks, Senator. As I said, I take these survey results extremely seriously. The survey was done quite early in my tenure, and since then we've been diligently identifying the source of some of these results and making sure we're taking aggressive steps to address them.
Do you think it reflects well that it was done early in your tenure? I mean, you took over there in June of last year?
That's correct.
The survey was conducted in November, 5 months later. So you think a 34% drop in the number of employees who have confidence in your honesty and integrity is something that reflects well on your leadership in just 5 months on the job?
Senator, as I said, I take these results very seriously, so does my senior team, and we're addressing it.
Do you think you'll improve this year?
We haven't yet heard when we'll get the results back from OPM, but of course we'll be looking at that closely.
Mr. Kanter, we may not agree on every bit of antitrust law, but I want to congratulate you on your performance in that same survey. It improved on almost every measure of senior leadership, so you must be doing something right at the Antitrust Division, so good for you. I'd like to talk now about the environmental, social, and governance movement, also known as ESG, which is really just an effort to weaponize corporations to reshape society in ways that voters would never endorse at the ballot box. Specifically, I want to talk about the ESG group known as Climate Action 100+, a group of investors and activists who have pledged to limit fossil fuel production both individually and collectively. The investment firm BlackRock is a prominent member of this group. Last month, 19 state attorneys general signed on to a letter to BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. The letter stated, and this is a quote, BlackRock's coordinated conduct with other financial institutions to impose net zero raises antitrust concerns. Group boycotts, restraining trade, or concerted refusals to deal, and again, this is another quote from the letter, clearly run afoul of Section 1 of the Sherman Act. Ms. Khan, do you agree that collusion to restrict supply is generally unlawful?
As a general matter, collusion is unlawful.
There's no antitrust exemption because you call something ESG, is there?
No, to the contrary, we've seen firms come to us and try to claim an ESG exemption, and we've had to explain to them clearly that there is no such thing.
So do you then share the state attorneys general's concerns that ESG coordination among financial institutions, including BlackRock, could run afoul of the Sherman Act or other antitrust laws?
I'd want to look at that issue in particular more closely before sharing an opinion on the legality, but certainly those types of cooperation or agreements, in as much as they can affect competition, are always relevant to us.
Mr. Kanter?
Yes, it's longstanding department policy not to comment on specific matters or specific companies, but generally speaking, directionally, Senator, I agree with the sentiment that collusion is anti-competitive, and I also agree with the underlying sentiment that when firms have substantial power, they use that power to achieve anti-competitive ends, that should be actionable under the antitrust laws.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad that you both agree that this raises concerns under the antitrust laws, as have many Wall Street lawyers and even progressive law professors, not groups of people that often agree with each other. I believe that enforcement, or at least investigation in these matters, needs to be pursued more vigorously. I think it may not be, because the whole point of the Biden administration's energy policy is to constrain supply of coal and oil and gas. And you see the dreadful consequences of that in what's happening in Europe and what will happen there this winter. So I hope that we get more vigorous enforcement, but if we don't, perhaps we'll get more vigorous oversight in January. Thank you all.